So when I was hanging out in Belize, I realized that I was not the same as them. And as they were talking, I just kept hearing Patrice O'Neill in my mind.
I'm so arrogant. When I travel to other people's countries, I refer to them in their own country as foreigner. I act like they visiting me. I look at them like, oh, where are you from, man? Where are you from? Like clothes you got on, foreigners? Oh, who the... What is this language you're speaking here in Turkey? Speak English!
I had grown up in the Black community where there were a lot of, Pan-Africanists. There were a lot of them that was like, we need to get back to the motherland and all this other stuff. I was programmed by that. And I came over here. Now, it wasn't Africa, granted, it was Central America. It was not fun. Like, I didn't want to be there. And, this is what made me very proud to be a Black American. Because when I trace my lineage, it's here in the United States of America. My folks have been here for over 400 years. Now, I know a lot of people might be like, oh, but you guys came over here during slavery. Well, I learned that I'm part Native American too. I didn't know that. In fact, when I went to UNC Charlotte, they were doing like DNA tests or whatever. And I was like, okay, it was some kind of program. Signed up for it, did my whole background. And, a lot of times I hear Black people be like, oh, I'm part Native American. They're like, okay, whatever. And I just, I would hear my grandmother say, oh, you're part Native American. Your great grandmother was Native American. And so I was like, okay, cool, whatever, And I just shrugged it off because I'm looking at me. I'm like, you see me, I'm Black, So I did this test and it turns out that, yeah, I'm part Native American. So when I say, my folks been over here for over 400 years, yeah, that's a statement. That's a fact. So now I'm hanging out with the people in Belize and I'm like, yeah, we might look alike, cool, but I'm not one of them. Not only because of my genetic background, but also when people watch like civil rights movies and all that, those are my ancestors. Those are my forefathers and stuff like that. Um, I know a lot of people like to say, slavery was a long time ago, whatever. But my own grandfather was a sharecropper. That is not that far removed. I can go and talk to elders in my family who remember growing up on the plantation that owned their father and their grandfather. Now, this is not a video to try to convince anybody that what Black people been through is still relevant to today. That's an obvious point. But it's just to say, as a Black American, I'm proud of what my family has done to get me to the point of where I am today. And I'm also going to lean on this point. I know, at least for the time being, the number one person that's going to try to disrespect what I'm doing here is going to be Black Americans that want to be oppressed. It's just a fact. There are Black people that just don't like seeing other Black people do better than them. And I'm okay with that if that's your thing. Now, sometimes I dib and dab in why they do these things. But the main point is when Black people tell me I think I'm white, you know what that tells me? Your daddy didn't care about you. Your daddy didn't care about how you talk. Your mama didn't care about you. Because if speaking in coherent sentences in a way that most people can understand them is white to you, something's wrong with you and your family. And I'm okay with that because it's not happening to me. I just be honest. Like, I remember growing up, doing well in school. Everybody loves to talk about Black education, Black excellence. when I would do very well in school, it wasn't the white kids, the foreigners, or the immigrants making fun of me because I had the highest grade in the class on the test. It was the black kids. Oh, you think you all that? I'm like, I remember there was a time when our test scores came out and I was the highest scoring person in the class who was black. And all the black kids, like, I had this teacher, he used to like call out the scores. He would be like, 87 Jackson, 32 Johnson, 98 Haley, right? He would just call out our names, our last names, and the score. And a lot of times my name was in the upper 90s. And he did this as like a social experiment. As soon as they would hear a high score in my last name, they suck their teeth. And so I've already experienced this growing up. It's just sad that it's still happening. Like even in my adult life, black people love to talk about black love. Everybody loved me and my husband when we were girlfriend, boyfriend. We were a power couple when we had our own truck. We were driving a tractor. But boy, when I got married, it was like it went from black love to, oh, you a pick me. So I understand the codes. It's like you gotta be down here where mainstream America say you down here. You were just a slave. How could you be proud of slavery? And that's where their mind is. And it don't bother me because I know, like, let's say, because I've tried it. I've tried to fit in. Let's say if I get down with them, let's say if I live in the hood just like them, let's say if I don't go to school or if I don't take care of my kids or whatever it is to make them feel like they on a level playing field, whatever that case may be. All they gonna do is talk bad about you anyway. So you might as well do what you want to do. And I decided to be great. And like I said before, my forefathers, they weren't just anybody. My grandfathers did great things for me and my family. And I am the end result of that today. The reason why I'm educated, the reason why I live in the type of house that I live in, the reason why I drive the kind of car that I drive, the reason why my husband has no outside children and is faithful to me, treat me very well, and he looks very good, is because men before him let him know that I ain't just anybody. Now, I know it's a lot of black women that can't say that. I know it's a lot of black women that don't have men in their life that look out for them even after they get married. I understand that. But just because a lot of black Americans can't relate to me doesn't mean I'm going to stop being me.